I would like to journey with you today on this topic of alignment and show you the bony landmarks and pointers that you're going to bring attention to and that your instructor might also bring attention to, and hopefully give you a little bit of insider information so that it hits, it lands, and you can then move a little bit better with more confidence, knowing what is it they're trying to align. So for anything kneeling, whether it's upright kneeling or on your hands and your knees, the best thing to keep in mind is your plumb line from your side and then the Pilates box from the front. So you want to have the two hip bones and the shoulders form the corners of your box, and make sure you think, my box, my box, my box. Okay, so if we're in 4-point kneeling, the hips still live above the knees. So you don't want to be back or too far forward. You're going to generally keep that position of knee and hip and then create a box from the top down, having your hands under your shoulders. And when you're in this position, your alignment also has to do with the shape of your spine. So we can't be completely rounded or completely dipped. You need to have natural curves, which means your low back has a neutral natural dip. Your upper back has a lovely roundness so that the shoulder blades can sit comfortably wide, and your neck has a bit of a dip. This is where people go slightly wrong, is they either lose the next dip or they're looking forward to see what everybody else is doing or what the trainer is doing. So I encourage you to keep your natural curves. And then where we go out of alignment could be with the elbows in this position. So a lot of the time people tend to hyperextend the elbow, have the soft part facing forward, when in reality the soft part should face in. So if we're discussing alignment, it's actually really, really important that you realize every single joint in your body has a natural position and a neutral alignment. And so if I were to have my arms out in front of me like this, I am in a natural alignment here. I'm in neutral with my soft part of my elbow shining in, that the knobbly bit of your elbow is the hubcap on the outside of the wheel. And so this arm is in neutral. What happens in a lot of people is they have flexibility in the arm and a bit of weakness in the shoulder. So the shoulder twists into external rotation, but the palm knows it must be down, and the end result is this hyperextension in the elbow, which puts a lot of pressure on the forearm. It wrings out the muscles to their maximum, and it's not quite the same as neutral in the arm. So whether you're lying down or on your hands and your knees, you are going to need to correct for this. And your trainer might mention it, but often there's 1,002 things that we're also worried about. And so this alignment of your shoulder and your arm gets neglected. So that's like a top tip, like a hot tip for you that just takes you to the next level of Pilates guru, because it's not often spoken about, but I care. So because I care, you care not to. So that's 4-point kneeling position. If we look at this position on your back, often referred to in text as supine. So we are lying supine on our backs with the knees bent. I've kept feet apart and my pelvis is in neutral. Oh my hat, what does that mean? Well, it means that relative to my spine, my pelvis is in its natural position. So the pubic bone and the hip bones form a triangle that's parallel to the ground. If my triangle was aiming up, I would no longer be in neutral. If my triangle was in fact aiming down, I would no longer be in neutral. Can you tell that that is having an effect on my entire spine here? So that versus this extension and hollow under my back. So before we even begin to stack the rest of the bones of my back, I want to make sure that the pelvis is in fact in neutral. So you can have your hand on your pubic bone right down to the bottommost tip and the heels of your hands on your 2 hip bones, those 2 bony prominences. So not only do I care that those 2 bony prominences are level in my body and that my ribs are level and that my shoulders are level, but I also care that my back isn't overly arched or flat. So you're in this neutral position, and then you can assess the rest of your back. Is the curve appropriate? If it's too big, you might want to drop your ribs or pop a pillow under your head just so that the ribs don't flare. Okay, so that's what we're looking for when you're lying down. Are the toes equal distance from the bum bones? Is 1 foot further away? Is the ankle in neutral or rolled out? Are the knees aiming straight up? Are the hip bones level, or is one side hiked up? Then is the pelvis in neutral? Is the spine just a little hollow? Are the ribs down and even? Are the shoulders level? And are the hands equally lengthened away from the shoulders and reaching towards your heels? A good tip is to make sure that you are lying down on your mat straight. So before you even get down, you want to see that your bottom is in the middle of the mat, and then you lay yourself down, and that your head isn't tilted off to one side, or that you've slid it, or that you're just gazing over to the instructor. So always try and feel that you have the same distance of mat on either side of your head and the same distance of mat from your pelvis, and that will set you up nicely for success.
For side lying, and this one's a biggie, can you see that if my hand is underneath my head, there's no ways my spine can be at neutral. I'm bowing in the bones of my back because my head is so high. My neck is part of my spine. So if we're lying here and about to do exercises, I can't very well position my head on my hand like this. It's nice to be able to see the root, but it's not going to serve me when I'm trying to focus on my alignment in Pilates, which is paramount to all Pilates. So you go and you put your hand lengthened along the mat so that your head can rest on your arm, which should actually get you in a straight line. Sometimes we need other things like yoga blocks and props because of shoulder pain or discomfort, but most of the time your own body can be used to do this. You are also welcome to have the hand and then you bend the elbow if that feels more comfortable for your shoulder, or you have it slightly back wrapped around the back of your neck. But the best way is to have that arm stretched out. Now you'll see that this hand of mine is in front of me against the mat, and that's because of proprioception. I'm using my arm against my abdomen, against my rib cage, and against my tummy to feel that I'm stacked. I'm also using it to see how far away my hip is from my shoulder. So if I push the hip away, I get more of a hollow in the side body, which means the bones are now stacked in a straight line. If I let my side body drop down, my ribs are on the ground, my waist is on the ground, and my hip is on the ground, I'm actually bowing here, and I don't have a lengthened position. My hips aren't stacked, one hip on top of the other. So that's what you're wanting to try and achieve on your side, is to get the shape of your box set up so that you can do any side lying exercise without changing the shape of your box and letting it respond every time you move. You want to keep it centered and aligned.
Where it gets tricky is where you have tightness or compensations and limitations that are unique to your body. So for example, the sitting exercises. I'm seated here now, my legs are crossed. It's easy for me to sit stacked with my pelvis in neutral and my spine appropriately curved. But should I straighten my legs, there's now a bigger request. There's an ask on my hamstrings, which affects my low back's ability to find neutral. So I'll show you from the side what that looks like. So if my legs are out in front of me, I'm finding it hard not to lean forward to sit with absolute ease. So now I'm leaning forward. Now it's not my core strength that's helping me, it's just gravity that's keeping me forward, but you can see my back isn't in neutral. If I stack appropriately, I feel the tension in the lower back because my hamstrings are tight and I have to use these muscles to keep me stacked and in neutral. If my hamstrings are really, really tight, you'll find most people can't even get past here. They sit slumped and rounded like that. So this is where seated and doing exercises, it becomes tricky for you to know when you're actually in alignment. Because what feels right often isn't neutral. Neutral is where there's sometimes a little bit more work to get you into that appropriately stacked, aligned position. So when you're doing exercises like this, should you slump or round or collapse and do the exercise to the best of your ability but not be in alignment? Answer is no. No. Bend the knees to get alignment first. Number one, never compromise your alignment, your box. Rather edit the exercise so that you can do it well, even if it's a modified version. So we bend the knees and then we perform the exercise. Or you sit on a box so that you take away your constraint and you're able to perform the movement better. I hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching, for joining us on our journey to alignment. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and join us on our other socials.